Loans and laws. Looks like Provo's justice courts will stay busy with payday loan cases. Find out why.
Federal favor. November's windstorm earns big bucks for the Beehive State.
And sparkly splatter. A Minnesota man protests Mitt Romney with a glittery surprise. I'm Anna Hayes.
And I'm Angela Montier. It's Thursday, February 2nd, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Payday loan cases are swamping Provo courts, and the legislature is going to leave it that way. Loan contracts have fine print requiring borrowers to settle their cases in Provo, and a bill before the legislature would have sent cases to the county where the loan originated, but that bill died in committee. Provo courts say payday loans are 70% of their caseload. President Obama has approved millions of dollars in disaster aid for Utah. November's windstorm caused more than $4 million in damage. And the Federal Emergency Management Agency will pay up to 75% of the estimated costs, while the rest of the bill will be on local governments. Utah may not see the money for a few months.
A former BYU student admitted to police he sexually assaulted his roommates while a student at BYU. 18-year-old Antonio Lacey faces 6 counts of forcible sex abuse. He admits he repeatedly molested his roommates while they slept. Lacey lived in YView Park, and he and at least one of the victims have withdrawn from school. He's out of the Utah County Jail on bond. The Utah State House is beginning debate on a new bill that makes it a crime for 23-year-olds to have sexual relations with 16-year-olds. Right now, it's legal for a 26-year-old to be with young teens, but the new bill seeks to shrink that age difference by 3 years. The crime would still be a third-degree felony.
Police are still searching for the van that hit 2 boys in Salt Lake City last night. Officers say the van hit the 7 and 11-year-old brothers while they crossed Redwood Road. Then it swerved into a minivan and sped off. The brothers are recovering at Primary Children's Medical Center, and witnesses say the van is blue and an older model. One of the students accused of planning to bomb Roy High School appeared in court yesterday. Dallin Morgan and his alleged accomplice Joshua Hogan, admitted to tossing around the idea of setting off a bomb at Roy High. Although police found no explosives, they charged Morgan with first-degree felony use or attempted use of a weapon of mass destruction. Distracted driving makes the road dangerous for everyone else, but is the same true for distracted walking? 11 News reporter Benjamin Carter tells us why experts say this is the case.
iPods and smartphones are handy tools, but using them while walking down the street can put you in danger. It is common to see people walking from place to place with earphones in, listening to music or talking on the phone, but oblivious to everything going on around them. A new study shows that walking with headphones can be just as risky as walking blind. The University of Maryland found that listening to music on headphones while walking limits the brain's awareness of surrounding traffic, making pedestrians vulnerable to accidents.
Well, because I feel like my eyes are alert, so I'm paying attention to everything else, just my ears aren't.
The study shows that 70% of earphone-related accident victims are under 30 years old. That means university students are high risk. Police say walkers need all of their senses and to be aware of their surroundings.
A pedestrian, for their safety, needs to be able to hear what's going on around them, especially around traffic.
Utah distraction laws require drivers to have the ability to hear horns and sirens. These distraction laws do not currently apply to walkers, but police to use this standard as well.
It's best to have your music at appropriate levels, but be able to hear what's going on, and especially for emergency vehicles.
The key to safety when crossing the street can be as simple as stop, look, remove earphones, and listen. A few states are even contemplating legislation that would penalize walkers for being distracted by earphones. Anna?
Thanks, Ben. Certainly something for students to think about when walking to campus. The president of Utah Valley University says that the best days at his school are yet to come. In this State of the School address, President Matthew Holland pleaded with the legislature to approve a new 250,000 square foot classroom building. Studies show student population growth and a slow economy left the school with the least square footage per full-time student in the state. Heavy textbooks could soon become a thing of the past in Utah. The State Office of Education announced they are coming out with online textbooks available for free. This change will provide students access to videos and interactive features. Math textbooks could soon be available this fall and others within the next 2 years.
That's awesome news.
That's great news for students.
When 11 News at Noon returns.
Cattle curtail. A shortage in moose may mean you need to budget more for beef.
And twinkly turmoil. One protester speaks out against Mitt Romney with some flair. We'll be right back. When the wear and tear of sports feels like too much for a doctor to fix, more young adults say they're turning to alternative forms of healing. Trenton Metters of Alpine has always loved to play basketball, but it damaged his disc in his back. Then after a trip to Cancun, Metters developed a parasite, something doctors told him would soon disappear.
I went to my leg, it's itching and burning, and then it went to my spine.
Metters says he tried chiropractic therapy, but when it didn't work to relieve the pain, he found the Renew Life Clinic in Linden and tried T-zone vibration. Clinicians say 10 minutes of full body vibration is equal to an hour of strength training. The Renew Life Clinic has treatments that are quick and painless, something Metters says won't hold him back from playing sports.
Students about to graduate say they're feeling the pressure to find a job, but luckily they're not all on their own. BYU Alumni Career Services gives students a leg up on the job market, helping former Cougars find work all across the country. Program Director Scott Grenolch says BYU's network is huge, with more than 20,000 contacts on LinkedIn. Besides critiquing resumes, he travels across the nation to keep in touch with potential employers.
Connecting with employers that need to hire people. And then we're trying to build a relationship with that employer.
From career fairs to counseling to jobs posted online, Grenolch says BYU is determined to keep its graduates employed. You can find out more about Alumni Career Services at 11news.byu.edu. Mitt Romney sparkled as he took the stage in Minnesota, but not what you might think. A young man glitter bombed the GOP candidate while he was shaking hands with people in the crowd. Police escorted the man out of the building quickly after the green glitter covered Romney from head to toe. But instead of getting mad, Romney just joked about the shine his hair now had.
Oh, I've got glitter in my hair. That's not all that's in my hair, I'll tell you that. I glue it on every morning, whether I need to or not.
The glitter throwing group says they wanted to draw attention to his donations to the LDS Church and its stance against gay marriage. Romney is now not the only glitter victim, on the campaign trail. Newt Gingrich, Rick Santorum, and Michelle Bachmann have all had their time to sparkle.
A California woman wins a lawsuit over gas mileage. Beef prices are on the climb, and Facebook is hoping to go public in a big way. This is your look at news from across the nation. A California woman won a court case against a Honda, claiming her Civic didn't get the mileage advertised. Honda claims its Civic Hybrid runs for 50 miles on 1 gallon of gas, but she proved she never got more than 42 miles to the gallon. The court awarded her almost $10,000 in damages, and Honda plans to appeal the decision. The USDA says the nation's cattle herd is shrinking, and that could cause a hike in the beef prices consumers see at the grocery store. The Agriculture Department says this year's herd is the smallest in the last 60 years. Experts say that the recent dry weather is playing a part in the shortage, and shoppers can expect to see prices go up 5% from last year. And Facebook is going public in a stock offering that could be worth $100 billion. The social media company hopes to raise $5 billion by selling a small percentage of its shares to the public. In its IPO, Wall Street expects it to be the biggest sale of shares by an internet company. Facebook will make this spring. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Anna?
Thanks, Angela. Still to come on the news at noon. Hazardous hobby. This season's warm weather means there's only a few safe places for ice fishing. We will tell you where they are. And seeing shadows. Find out if the famous Puxatawny Phil thinks we'll have an early spring or 6 more weeks of cold weather.
And it might not mean anything if I see my shadow or not, but I can tell you what your 5-day forecast will look like. I'll have your 11 News weather when we return.
This year's unusually warm winter has given skiers and snowboarders a reason to be unhappy. As 11 News reporter Brady Tucker tells us, ice fishers aren't too happy about it either.
Provo Canyon's Deer Creek Reservoir is a popular place to ice fish every year. But with lots of open water and only 3 inches of spotty ice, fishers this season are wary of the conditions.
Ice can be real scary. You got to know what you're doing out here. It's getting to be a real popular sport here in Utah now, and a lot of these lakes are unsafe.
Ice fishers want no less than 6 inches of ice when fishing, but with this year's temperatures above normal, it's hard to find a good spot.
It's been a relatively warm winter, but with over a foot of ice, Strawberry Reservoir is safe enough to attract many people for some winter fishing.
In fact, Strawberry is one of only a few lakes in northern Utah frozen enough to safely fish on. It's even thick enough for people to drive snowmobiles out. Still, there are plenty of safety precautions to consider when ice fishing.
Normally we walk about 10 to 20 feet out on the ice and drill a test hole just to see how thick your ice is. Then every 50 yards after that, drill a test hole.
Reed says that carrying an ice pick and bringing a friend along are good ideas, just in case the ice does break. But luckily for Reed, the fish are biting and nobody's walking on thin ice. At Strawberry Reservoir, Brady Tucker, 11 News.
Duchesne County's Starvation Reservoir is also a popular ice fishing spot, but lower elevation means thinner ice, and fishers need to be extra careful.
Pennsylvania's Puxatawny Phil came out of his lair this morning and saw his shadow, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. Thousands gathered for this annual tradition, and the irony is that temperatures in Pennsylvania are usually warm for this time of winter. So why 6 more weeks of this cold weather? Many people say that Phil's prediction is chosen ahead of time by an inner circle of people in top hats and tuxedos. We checked with Huggle Zoo, and they don't have any groundhogs, but we'll see if what Phil says goes here in Utah.
Kika, I was rooting for Puxatawny to see a shadow. I'm tired of winter.
Me too, but if it's been like, this mild winter, I'm okay with that too.
That's true.
It hasn't been too bad at all.
It's going to be like that.
Taking a look outside right now, we can see just a little bit of snow that has stayed over from that storm we had last night, but not too bad. Currently outside right now, we're in the 30s, 34 degrees. Our humidity is a bit high. We're at 80% right now, and our wind speed is high. We have northwest west winds blowing in at 18 miles per hour. So that's going to, of course, contribute to the cold temperature. What we can expect tonight is a drop in temperature. We'll be at 23 degrees tonight. It will cloud up some more, but our wind speed will drop to 6 miles per hour tonight. So we don't have to worry about that too much. And our sunset will be coming in at 5:46 p.m. Taking a bigger picture of what's going on here, there isn't much going on over here on the coast area. Here in Utah, in mid-Utah, there's this storm system working here. We'll get the tail end of that tonight and later on today. But for the rest of the week, we won't be seeing too much of that, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Taking a closer look at Utah, our highs will start out in the high 30s. Up in Logan, we have 38, Salt Lake 39. We make our way into the 40s with Wendover and Provo. And of course, down in southern Utah, we have Cedar City at 40 and our high degrees at 52 in St. George. For their 5-day forecast, they'll start out a bit cloudy, mostly cloudy today. It'll clear up for Friday. Saturday, they'll have nothing but sunshine. Sunday and Monday, we'll see a reoccurrence of those clouds again. Up in northern Utah, today we can expect some rain, 60% chance of that rain turning into snow tonight. Friday we'll have mostly cloudy, but good news, Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday, those clouds will clear up and we'll have nothing but sunshine.
Ooh, sounds good. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Kika.
You're welcome.
Well, Blake Griffin has been in the headlines all week for that insane dunk earlier this week.
How did that work out for the Jazz last night? That's my question.
Not so well, but next on sports, the big men in basketball are taking over. Blake Griffin and that other team from LA left the Jazz singing the blues. And Noah Hartsock is leading his team in and out of the Marriott Center. Sports is next. Stay tuned. The Jazz hosted the Los Angeles Clippers last night, and the game was nothing short of a nail-biter. It was a highlight reel night from the get-go for both teams, getting Lob City going from the tip-off. Center Al Jefferson paced the Jazz with 27 and 12, while Blake Griffin and Chris Paul led the way for the Clippers. But the game went down to the wire with 1 second left, and the Jazz down by 2. Jazz forward CJ Miles purposely missed the second free throw in hopes of getting his team the last shot. But the Clippers snatched the rebound and left with their first win in Salt Lake since 2003. And it's going to be a late night for Cougar fans tonight. After losing to St. Mary's Saturday, tonight's game against Gonzaga is a must-win to keep the team's NCAA tournament dreams alive. The Bulldogs are 7-1 in conference play, with their only loss to St. Mary's. These conference foes last met when BYU beat Gonzaga in the second round of the NCAA tournament in 2011. At 6'8", many people look up to Noah Hartsock. As team captain and leading scorer of the BYU basketball team, his teammates will also look up to him in tonight's big game. 11 Sports reporter Jen Jacobson shows us what game day looks like for the senior starter.
Noah Hartsock earned a career-high 28 points against St. Mary's on Saturday, scoring 11 of his 15 attempted shots. Hartsock is even getting some attention from NBA scouts.
He's been a guy who's probably been our most consistent player night in and night out as far as his ability to make positive plays for our team. He has the most experience, and so we kind of rely on him.
But Hartsock is also a student with class he has to attend and homework to do on top of his responsibility of helping his team win one of the biggest games of the season.
In the morning is we usually want to go to class. In the afternoon we have pregame, and I think that's when everything just switches for me. That's when I really focus on basketball and just go through the game plan once more. Make sure I get stretch in and take a little nap and just eat as much as I can so I can feel good.
Noah leads his team by staying positive and optimistic, even if the Cougars are falling behind.
I think I just got to go out there and motivate them, make sure they're all competing, playing 100%.
Fans have formed a line outside the stadium in tents, eager to watch the big game against a huge rival. Gonzaga has won 11 consecutive regular season championships, so Captain Noah Hartsock and his team will have to do whatever it takes to earn BYU another win. Hartsock says although his team has been in a shooting slump the last few games, tonight the Cougars just need to get their confidence back and play strong. At the Marriott Center, Jen Jacobson, 11 News.
Hartsock won't be the only one getting up for tonight's game. Gonzaga's got revenge on their mind after falling to the Cougars last season in the tournament. The big showdown starts tonight at 9 o'clock in the Marriott Center.
Well, Bridget, I'm planning on going to the game tonight, but as you may have noticed, I am not camping out there.
I know, I had some roommates that were out there. That's way too cold for me.
It's pretty crazy. It should be a good game.
Yeah, we'll have to watch it.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Feline fun. Have a fuzzy friend that needs to keep busy? There's an app for this. We'll be right back.
A new app to entertain cats could mean you have to buy your pet its own iPad. Designers have created an interactive iPad cat app that can keep your friendly feline company. It's an ideal playmate for lonely pets. The app comes with 3 games to help stimulate and entertain cats and has an automatic shuffling system in case your cat gets bored. The app is part of a university charity project, and you can download it for free from the App Store.
I'm sorry, but that's really cute. I'm not a cat person, but I just think it's so cute.
I just feel like if I had an iPad, I wouldn't be handing it over to my cat to play with.
Probably wise.
I'm more of a dog person myself. If the iPad turned into a phone, I don't know.
Maybe something like
not a cat person.
Although I wouldn't trust a dog with it as much as I would a cat.
Yeah,
I'd probably go for the bite or something.
Exactly.
That's your 11 News at noon for Thursday, February 2nd.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.